health is the one of the most important thing in nation and society. However, we still face a serious problem. The problem is often about the precision, practical skills, and mental awareness of medical students. That is why we need future doctors who have not only strong in theory, but it's sharp in practical.
That's why this urgency has become one of the reasons why the government and educational institutions are now focusing on the strengthening innovative healthcare education. This effort is also a real implementation of SDG number 4, high quality equality education, which emphasizes the importance of effective, adaptive, and high quality learning systems. Medical education can no longer rely only on textbooks and conventional learning methods.
And beyond that, there are also a major external challenge. The first one is to anticipate the future health crisis, such as the pandemic forced medical students to shift the online learning. The second is advanced medical training. It's extremely expensive. There are costs of billions of rupiah. The third is the availability of the cadaver for anatomy and surgical training is becoming increasingly limited. All of the factors have become significant barriers in creating effective and accessibility medical training for future healthcare professionals.
Yes, I've heard about VR before, especially in gaming and entertainment. But recently I've heard that VR also developing in healthcare education, which I think is pretty interesting. I think as far as I know, VR is virtual reality where it puts you into a simulation world where everything feels real, seems real, although it's all just digital, because it plays with your mind and how you put your device on, like the VR puts on, and then when you put the headphones, for example, it feels like you're actually there in the world, although everything is just digital. I think it would be a game changer because me as a nursing student, I can actually learn our nursing procedures without actually harming the real patients. So I think VR would be very useful for me as a nursing student to learn over how to use medical procedures or nursing skills that requires patience but without actually harming the real patients. By far, I think the biggest flaw is how limited our hands-on practice is. So as you can see, I'm on my third year in nursing. So by this third year, I was only practicing on mannequin, not real people. So when you actually have to treat real people, you get kind of stiff. So yeah, because right now I'm learning on how to do it on mannequin, not the real people with real serious medical conditions. So I think that is the biggest flaw that I still don't know how the improvement have to be like, because that's just how it is. Medical students, nursing students, we learn how to treat mannequin first before we treat the real patients. I think that is the biggest flaw by far.
Second, cost efficiency. Conventional medical training requires expensive consumables, medical tools, and practice material that are often used only once. With VR technology, simulation can be repeated thousands of times without constantly consuming additional physical resource.
Third, effective learning. VR is not just about watching simulation passively. Students can actively interact inside the virtual environment, complete real-time quizzes during practice, and immediately receive feedback if a product is performed incorrectly. This creates a more immersive, flexible, and self-direct learning experience that helps students master clinical skills more effectively. In fact, at the recent Education Expo 2026, Universitas of Brawijaya introduced a VR-based bone surgery simulation module. This innovation demonstrates how our university is taking a step forward in preparing future healthcare through more immersive, interactive, and technology-driven medical training.
I think the biggest obstacle is probably the cost, because I can imagine how expensive it is to develop technology such as VR. Then the next obstacle I think would be the learning process. Me as a nursing student, I don't have the background of technology, so I probably need way more time than you guys to learn how to use VR, to adapt how to use VR in my nursing procedures. I think that would be the obstacle I will face.
Technology might never replace the empathy, humanity, and compassion of a doctor, but technology can help ensure that every future doctor is trained more safely, more precisely, and more confidently before treating real patients. Because in the end, medical innovation is not only about creating advanced technology, it is about saving more lives.
The future of medical education in our hands.
Let's innovate for a healthier Indonesia.
Indonesia.
Udah lah.